everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.wordpress.com. Thank you for joining me today. So I don't usually put out a video on a Sunday, but this actually accompanies a blog post from yesterday where I took part in a team blog hop, and I just wanted to show you guys how I created those cards, or that card design, and this is it. I'm using the Have a Hoot stamp set and coordinating dies for my mini catalogue project. So anybody who knows me will know that I actually really love owls, so this set was definitely top of the list when I saw it. I was like, yay! And the set actually has owls for a number of occasions, so we've got some Halloweeny guys and in there, as well as Christmas. And actually the sentiments are quite punny as well, so owl I want for Christmas this year. I think that's really cute. So and then you've got a little boo there and stuff from Owl of Us, very cute. So yeah, this is what we're doing. It's a little more involved than some of the cards I make. Quite a bit of die cutting and colouring to do, so if that isn't your bag, obviously just sort of skip through some of the sections. I've tried to do as much prep as possible, so you're not watching too much of the repetitiveness of it all. Okay, I'm going to leave that in front of me because I might need a reminder of what I'm doing. And I've just realised there's an ink pad I need as well, so I'll get that out. Okay, so there is a little bit of a twist on this, in that I didn't really like the white, this plain white frame on this, so I'm going to change that out, and I'm going to use crumb cake as well. So it's a crumb cake card base, my usual sizes, and then I've got a real red layer, slightly smaller than usual. This one measures, if you want the measurement, it is 3 7/8 inch by 5 5/8 of an inch, so that's that. And then my crumb cake layer for the top I've already prepped here, and this measures 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. And as you can see, I've positioned this die, which is from the Have a Hoot, is it Have a Hoot? Or Hoot dies? Peek-a-Hoot dies that go with the stamp set. And I've positioned that centrally on that cardstock to make the frame. So we're going to run that through the die cut machine right now. And it takes a moment. I just wanted you to see how I'd started out with that. Back and forth. And so this die is actually really cool. So we're sort of almost using the waste, if you like, because it's actually intended to cut these really cute tags. Okay, just price that off. So this is the bit I want, and then we get these cute tags as well. Excuse me. I have just recently seen a demonstrator who said she wasn't really happy having the holes cut into those tags, and she wanted to use them as toppers and stuff, and actually she's had her husband cut away part of her die. Entirely up to you, but obviously that means that the warranty wouldn't be valid anymore for that particular product. I'm fine with keeping mine intact, but just letting you know that someone has done that. But they're really cute, and I'm sure there's something we could do with those at a later date. So I've got a few of these hanging about now from making my samples and things, so you may see those put to use. So this is what we've got so far in terms of the card composition. And before we put this away, I'm actually going to bring in some scrap paper. Let's find some that isn't quite as grubby. There we are, let's have that. And I'm actually going to bring in the Snowflake Wishes stamp set and stamp some additional snowflakes on the background, because I just felt like it was a bit plain. But we're going to do it tone on tone and use the matching crumb cake ink. and I thought it might tie together the little snowflakes that are sitting behind all the little guys as well. So I'm going to put a few of these big ones dotted around the place. Maybe a few across the bottom there. The top corner. And then these little guys. Just to add a little bit of interest here and there. Yeah, like that. No real plan as such as to where they're going. I'm just dotting them around the place. So I think that will just make it look a little bit more, yeah, just less stark really. Okay, so that's quite wet at the moment. It will dry back a little lighter. So yeah, okay, that's what we've done with that. Right, I'm going to leave that to one side now. So the next thing was how to get the background stamped, and then for these guys to sit on top. So these are decoupaged on with the dies. So I want these to sit behind each of those windows, and I actually created myself my own little template. So I cut the cardstock to fractionally smaller than this. Okay, and that happens to be 5 1/8 by 3 3/8 if you want to use the exact measurements, but it just needs to be smaller than this crumb cake piece, so that it will adhere behind the behind there without being seen. Okay, so that's the object piece of paper. Enough to do your marks, and big enough for the and small enough to sit behind the image. So I just made some pencil marks on that using the die, which are just, you may be able to, yes, you can see those on there. And then positioning them was a little bit haphazard. So on this one, this guy's a little bit too far over to the left, and he's a bit too far over to the right, and I felt like these were a bit too far over. So I decided I needed some kind of template, and that's how this came about. And I actually ended up bringing in my Stamparatus tool, so that then I can do some more of these cards and be able to stamp them in the right place. Okay, so I got my 2 plates because I got the 3 stamps and I knew they were going to overlap slightly, and positioned those in. My cardstock goes into the tool where X marks the spot. I think, where was I able to put the magnet? I think it was up there somewhere. And it just meant that I could then stamp these images in exactly the right place once I'd got the positioning right using my template. Okay, and I've used Memento ink because we're going to colour with Stampin' Blend. So I'm going to ink up the one on the top panel, and I'm over here, so just lightly tapping over the images. I'll bring this one down and this one down. Okay, and those will be, she says, hopefully in the right place for the next step. So I'm just going to grab my chamois and clean those stamps before putting that away. I do have one I prepared earlier, so just to make sure the ink was all dry and do a bit of the colouring ahead of time, so that you weren't watching me do a whole heap of ink blending. And I'm just going to grab that there. So I've got my dies ready as well, because we are going to die cut out. Oh, we do need that sheet. Being a wally. That's why I need that sheet. I was like, why do I need another one? It's alright. Just going to grab it, because this is my background layer. But I used the same while the Stampin' Artist was in place, I stamped another one so I could colour it. That's what I did. So that's the one I've just stamped in front of you. And what we need to do is add some blue ink to the background for some sky, and I'm going to use a little brush for that and some Pool Party ink. Just to give some colour to the because they're in a tree, you know, up in the boughs sort of thing. So it doesn't need a lot. It doesn't matter if you go over the image because we're covering this over, in the most part anyway. Just a suggestion of colour behind it, so it just takes away the white really. It's nothing artistic or fancy, I'm just blobbing it on. No real technique there particularly. And then what we need to do is just colour in the background elements, so the tree trunks basically, and we're going to do that with the dark cinnamon cider marker, and I'm going to use the little like the bullet tip, because these are quite thin. And now I'll go quiet because I can't do this and talk to you at the same time. No blending, literally just adding the colour to those just to build that little background piece. That is all this is doing. Part of it will be covered anyway by the frame, but if any bits do show, they will be coloured. This branch will be a lot more so than these ones. Just glancing at my sample. So the bottom of this one and the side of this one. So just take your time, get those little bits coloured in. You could apply some colour onto the backgrounds of those, because when you look at it on the side, in fact I don't know whether you can tell on this one, but if you look at it on the side you can actually see I did colour it in, partly to set out the colours, but also when you do look at the side you don't really want to see a blank thing there, but it doesn't actually show that much, you can't see it that much, so I'm not going to do it on this sample just to save some time really. And that's all we're going to do, that background layer, and the next thing to do is just to secure that to the crumb cake layer, secure the card together, and then we can get on with the colouring of the little owls. Okay, so just going to bring in some adhesive. This is just Stampin' Seal. Got some nice wide portions on this die because of the dimensions of the cardstock, which means there's plenty of places for this to adhere, and a little bit in the middle there. And this bit is slightly smaller, so I've added the make sure we get it the right way up. That, and because I know it's just that fraction smaller, I'm just going to layer it like I would do a cardstock layer, because I've made the template. It should line up beautifully, she says, getting it wonky. And now I'm not going to press it hard until I just look around the front. Yeah, happy with that. And I'm just going to press that down now. Give that a really good press so it's adhered. Brilliant. Okay, and then we can add that to our real red layer. Because we're adding dimension on the front, I am not putting this up on dimensionals, I'm just going to adhere it flat. I chose real red as the border because of the little hats, really. so that there's a bit of that red coming through in the overall design. And I thought the crumb cake would just give it a bit more of a natural look, and I'm already liking it better than the white. Personal preference, I mean, you know, if you preferred the white one, then go ahead and do it in white. And that goes onto the card base. Okay. Are you with me so far? Hopefully you are. Okay, again, just another good press on there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is colour the elements and lay them on top and add a sentiment. Okay, so bring back in this piece. So this was the piece. So I've already done a little bit of the colouring just to save just a teensy bit of time. Okay, so with the lovely couple, I'm just colouring the owls now. I'm not going to colour any of the background, it's just the owls that I'm interested in. They're the ones that are going to get die cut. So my lovely owls then, these guys, so we're going to make this a little lady and give her some pink eyeshadow. And then I'm taking the ivory marker and adding that over, we're going to call this one the lady, over her. There's nothing in this image that actually suggests it's a lady at all, it's just how I've interpreted it. Okay, and a bit on his belly. Okay, this guy's already got his layer of ivory over the top of him. And then we're going to bring in the bronze marker, which isn't that one, this one. Yep, bronze marker. She's just going to have a little bit of colour added here and there, so that she's a bit lighter than the other one. And then this guy's going to have, oh, I should have done his eyelids. Got his eyelids. I'll do it in a minute. Whereas this guy's going to have more of the darker colour around the edges. So a bit more kind of blending going on, but nothing complex. If you want to colour them flat, that's absolutely fine. I just thought they'd look nice with this colour combo. So this is the ivory and bronze twin marker combo. So all the markers come in pairs now. And then this ivory and bronze is almost, it's a bit of an addition to the colour palette. All the other ones are part of the SU colour families, and these were an addition. So that's those guys done. Oh, his eyelids. Okay, this dude's already got his ivory layer. So he's having some bits and pieces around his belly and sides around his head. And then just coming back in with the ivory marker just to blend that out just a smidge. Go over his eyelids. Yeah, these guys were coloured in exactly the same way, but they were so small. I thought you'd appreciate me just getting those done. Then we've got real red, dark real red, using the fine nib to colour in this Christmas present and their little hats. The mistletoe I'm bringing in the, oh, this is actually Light Mango Melody. Okay, I didn't realise it was that colour, I just picked it out from the caddy. Just the berries, and this is the colour I've used for the feet and the beaks. Okay, and then the leaves on the mistletoe, I have picked out the light old olive. No blending on this one, just colouring it in. They're so tiny you wouldn't notice. Like so. Okay, so that's my colouring completed, so that didn't take too long. And now we're going to die cut these guys out. Okay, so these dies just fit beautifully over that image, and can you see that this also cuts the mistletoe, which is super cute, real time saver. These little guys cut out as one strip. I love this guy on the end who's so excited he's lifted himself off the branch, flapping about. That's hilarious. They're all looking at him like he's gone. Yeah, and then this little guy who's chuffed to pieces with this present, whether he's just received it or he's about to give it away. Okay, so those guys can be die cut. It's very simple, easy as 1, 2, 3 with the new die cut machine. Cut and emboss. I still get the clunks and cracks, but that just tells me it's doing its job. And those guys, oh, that die moved a little bit, I think. I think I'm just because I'm positioning it so you guys can see. I haven't lined it up as well, but you get the idea. Okay, so dimensionals then on these guys, and did I get out of the sheet? There it is. So these guys, we can use the larger ones. Then we need some little ones for the little mini ones. Close. So these little dimensionals come into their own for this kind of thing. I did try using the edge strip, but it was just, where's me? Almost forgot me mistletoe. It's still stuck in the die behind the tape, so there it is. A little one on that too. So there we are. We just need to get these guys stuck in. Just position them over the top of the image you've already stamped. Like so. Ooh, got static on my fingers. Those guys go there. So all that's left is the sentiment. So I did just pick out the Merry Christmas from the same set. We've got some real red ink and a strip of cardstock, which is just over 1/2 inch wide. And we'll just press that down. And just trim that down with the trimmer. Easy to do. Oops, don't move it. originals on that too. And just to add to the fun that's going on a bit of a wonk. Just like that. So what do you think? Do you think crumb cake or white? I have to say I do like the snowflakes. Just think it, I don't know, well, could have done with some in the middle I think. But overall I think the addition of the crumb cake layer just brings it together. It depends whether you prefer the clean and simple look, which is nice, or whether you prefer something a little bit more stepped up. I'll leave it with you. Either way, I hope you've enjoyed doing that, a bit more involved, a bit of fun. Let's die cut in. But yeah, really cute. As always, products and links and all the rest of it are in the description bar. Please do check out the blog post because it will have all the other participants in the blog hop listed in there, and they would all appreciate your support as well in the team. So please do check those out. In the meantime, have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, take care everyone. Bye.